The NRL has many intricacies, many ways that you can take it to the next level, and you see that in a few of the top teams. But for the most part, it is a game of getting through your sets, reducing errors, and having a little bit of strike in your outside backs. And that is exactly what was needed in this first game here between the Souths and the Bulldogs. A little bit of flair, a little bit of grit and determination as well, and that's Jack Wighton. He's the big story out of this game, and yes, the Bunnies got that win, and that's super important for them. But for me, it's on the back of Jack Wighton, his effort plays, the way he runs the ball, the way he defends. Obviously picked up 2 tries in this one, and I'm super happy for him in that. But that's where this game was won. It was through Jack Wighton. Not many other players stood up. We know what we get out of Cam Murray every week. It's that effort. I do really like actually how he ran through the middle as well. His late footwork, he's able to find his front every time and get that quick play of the ball so that they can get it out to their centers and outside backs. And really, you're looking at the moment with Isaiah Tass kind of getting off to a slower start. Like he played better last year, and obviously the team was flying a bit more as well. AJ goes off with a little bit of a hamstring niggle, so hopefully he's okay. But you don't currently have that strike with Tane Milne out there as well. No disrespect to any of those guys, but they just don't have that weapon that Jack does. And what this whole team is lacking at the moment is just that grit and determination that Jack is displaying, but he's also got the flair on the other side. So massive shout out to him. And that's all you need to, if you're watching a game, guys, watch for those types of players. The guys that get in, do the dirty work, really turn it on for their sides and give them a leg up, really, because that's all that matters. The forwards were okay in this one. They're obviously over to get a small win over the Dogs, but I do feel like once they get into playing against the top 8 teams, they're going to have a tough time of it. Latrell Mitchell needs to step up that little bit more. Yes, they got the win. I said this is going to be great for their confidence, but unfortunately for him, just again, not enough run meters, not enough tough carries. Still a lot of getting that odd tackle break, a few palm offs and an offload, and hasn't been getting involved in the tough stuff that they need. And hopefully he can take a leaf out of his mate Jack Wighton's book, because that was an incredible effort on that front. And then Damien Cook, a really, really good bounce back game for him. It shows how important he is in an 80-minute role. He's always been able to play the 80 well. I never really see him tired. Like you watch Cam Murray and he looks pretty gassed at the end of games, and Cook just looks fine. So for him to get that line break in there, tackle breaks, he had 3 turnover tackles. He did a lot of good things in there. 48 tackles for low misses there was great. So yeah, big shout out to him as well. And on the dog side, there are some good signs there. They're definitely playing better. Again, they just still don't have that absolute strike in some way, and they're needing a little bit more direction as well, which I think is going to come. It's starting to build. They've obviously had a couple of injuries, well, in 2 weeks now to Josh Adokar, injuries in 3 of the 4 weeks that have stuffed them around a bit. And we'll see that in the Broncos game next, that they when they were able to get a full team on the park for the whole game, they're able to really dominate and do good things. So that's been a bit of a struggle for the Dogs as well. They're working hard on their combinations. Some things are working and other things aren't. So I do think it's a developing process. Like they're working really hard on that left-hand side with Burton, with Kickout. And then, when it was Tracy out there and Crichton, Crichton was able to get into a bit more of his work this week. And Max King was incredible through the middle. You've got Josh Curran coming on doing good things. Same with Kurt Mann, changing the momentum of these games. Just creating a little bit more havoc through the middle, you're seeing with Kurt. That's been his biggest thing in there. And then Reid Marnie's had a really good start to the season as well. So on that right-hand side, Hutchison's looking like he's getting into his work a little bit more, as we would have hoped that he'd have a little bit more speed, because he's absolutely seeing everything that's in front of him, just not able to get through those gaps at the moment. So I think if he can work things out with Preston, with Carraz, and also Blake Wilson or whoever it's going to be on that side, obviously kind of Tracy in some weeks, this week it was, until things got moved around as well, that they can work this out. And I do think they're going to be a really solid team going in for the rest of the season. They just do need to sort out a couple of those combinations, and I think they can put a few more points on, and defensively they aren't too bad. So Dogs are in an okay position. They just need a couple more strikes and to fix up a few of their processes that they're building at the moment. And that's the good thing with them. You're actually seeing something building, which you're not in a few of the other teams at the moment, where you're not really sure on their identity, and we're getting that from the Dogs. Moving to the Broncos and the Cows, and this was a very, very normal watch for a Cowboys fan, to be honest. I knew going into this that defense was going to be an issue from the start. And then if you give up too many tries to a Broncos team that has the strike power, that is a grand finalist team, that you won't be able to return. You won't be able to come back. And I do think it was a very high quality game. So I'm not worried for the Cows longer term. I think they will be a good team. My worry is their defense going forward. And I've said that in the preseason, that we'll know straight away what type of team this Cowboys is going to be and where they're going to finish on the ladder. And at the moment, this is probably the best their attacks look for a good amount of years, apart from last night. But their defense is just the same as almost any other year, apart from a couple of years ago when they came third and had a really, really nice defense. 2017, they were doing really well also, and then 2015. So those 3 years they had runs, their defense was a top 4 defense, which was awesome, and it's exactly what they need. Last night, letting 2 tries in around the ruck from hookers, again, that just is a sign that your communication, your talking in defense is not good enough, and just awareness as well. Like, they're just, Drinkwater, that was Drinkwater's mistake. He left, I think, Granville one-on-one with Smoothie near the end, and then they had the try from Walters at the start as well. Like, it's way too early in a game to concede a try right there, and obviously that's the benefit of having strike outside backs and Reynolds on one side, Mam on the other, and just plenty of weapons either side, right? But that is where the ball is. Defend that first. It's like in basketball, so the bloke's coming down the lane, and you just go, oh, I'm worried about him, and just let him go and dunk the ball. It's not. It's always that play. And then same in a 2-on-1 situation, just take the guy with the ball. So anyway, that's 101 for defense, and then you slide from there, right? So that's their issue at the moment with the Cows, just defensively. The big issue here was having 5 errors from Drinkwater, 3 errors from Val Holmes, a very easy drop ball from Townsend as well. Yes, it was wet, especially in the first half. It was raining pretty much the whole first half, and then it kind of died down in the second, but everything still would have been wet and hard to keep hold of. But the Broncos were able to hold onto the ball, so why couldn't the Cowboys? So defensively, the errors, if they clean that up, I think this would have been a very, very close game, especially on the errors front. They were making a bit of a comeback, and just wasn't to be. Big shout out to Tom Dearden for that incredible chase down try saver that's going to go down, and one for the ages, that's for sure. And we're seeing a few of these awesome plays over the last few weeks with Xavier Coates' try, and then that awesome chase down on Cobbo. So to see that the Dearden was actually a little bit quicker than him. What does Denon say? The hips don't lie. He's got baby bearing hips, the great man. So he's someone that we need to talk about as well, because he's had an outstanding start to the season. He's gone up a level, and that is what's going to make this Cowboys team a much better outfit. You've had Townsend playing really well, and then Dearden's taken a step up as well. So apart from that drop that I was talking about with Townsend last night, he's been really good. And the glue that holds this whole Broncos team together, Adam Reynolds and Pat Carrigan, 2 extremely, extremely impressive players there that you've got with those 2. They're amazing, and you can't hope for much more from those 2 guys there, that's for sure. They're doing great work there for this Broncos side. So that was the big thoughts in that one, guys. It was they have too much strike, too much power to be able to come out and absolutely dominate this Cowboys team that was a bit lackluster in defense, and they just have too many weapons, as I said. And defensively, Broncos are sitting in a better position. They were out of sorts last week against the Broncos side, and I think it does just show, obviously, having a couple of guys out last week, just where they're at and where the competition is at. The Panthers are so far ahead, and then teams like the Broncos are not far behind, obviously, but they're well ahead of other teams in this league. So thanks for listening and watching to this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the 3 games, or a couple of games today, 2 or 3. Anyway, have fun, guys. See ya.